There's no protocol for what's about to happen. The world is going to crumble when they see this next arrest. In the meantime, there's going to be deaths, distractions, and fires to hide evidence. Watch for it, ask questions, demand answers. You know who's on those flight logs. You do. You know who should be arrested. You all do. You know that laptop from hell is real. You know that the black book is real. You know Ghislaine Maxwell's customers are who everybody is watching in the everyday news, including those who you drop your kids off with every day. Your schools, your doctors, big banks, Chase Bank, Bank of America. There is a lot of people that are attached because this goes very deep. I told y'all this is a spider web that is tangled and tangled and tangled and woven intricately. I am telling you right now that once one goes, it's going to pull on a big string. That arrest is coming.
Hollywood is in turmoil, and at the heart of the chaos is Ally Carter, making claims that are as shocking as they are hard to ignore. Ally isn't just suggesting that the wildfires ravaging Los Angeles are an unfortunate coincidence. According to her, these fires are part of a larger, orchestrated effort by powerful individuals to hide some deeply disturbing truths about the entertainment industry. What might seem like a natural disaster, she alleges, is actually a cover-up involving some of the biggest names in Hollywood, including music moguls Diddy and Jay-Z. But that's only scratching the surface. Ally is connecting these fires to hidden networks, trafficking rings, and cover-ups that could completely change the way we see Hollywood's elite. And while her claims may sound far-fetched, the fact that many of her past predictions are now coming true has people paying close attention.
Me in containers with his shipment of kids. There were kids in there that didn't speak English. There were kids that were sick and that were already dying. There were babies. There were babies that were 6 years old, and I'll never forget them just crying, and everybody was just staring at them. Everybody was just staring at each other. Nobody knew whether or not to move. I was freaked out. And I got up and I held her. And they opened the truck and they took her from me. Because they said she was already sick. And they killed her.
To understand why Ally Carter's claims are suddenly gaining traction, you need to know a bit about her background. Ally isn't some Hollywood insider seeking the limelight. Her story is rooted in a much darker and more painful reality. As a former foster child, Ally grew up in a broken system, bouncing from home to home, witnessing firsthand the kind of exploitation and neglect that often goes unnoticed by the public. This isn't just personal for her. It's a crusade to expose what she believes is a deeply corrupt system that's failing children, including herself. Ally has been vocal about human trafficking for years, claiming that it is rampant among the rich and famous, and she's not afraid to call out the names of those she believes are involved. For years, people dismissed her as just another conspiracy theorist. But as more of the pieces she's been talking about fall into place, she's no longer being written off so easily. One of the main reasons Ally is grabbing headlines now is because of a stunning prediction she made about the fires that have engulfed Los Angeles. Months before the flames spread, Ally warned that a major fire would be used to cover up the destruction of crucial evidence tied to an underground operation. She said that high-powered figures in Hollywood would resort to extreme measures to hide their involvement in illegal activities, including trafficking and other shady dealings. Now, with the fires wreaking havoc across the city, displacing tens of thousands of people and destroying homes and businesses, her predictions are beginning to seem less like the ramblings of a fringe voice and more like eerie foresight. Timing, Ally claims, is no coincidence.
Underground tunnels that are under the schools, elementary, junior, and high schools all over the place. They exist everywhere. They lead to amusement parks, they lead to hospitals, cemeteries, schools, celebrity homes, psychic shops. They lead everywhere. Yes, there's every means of transportation. There's every walk of life. There's cities. There's different air supply.
And it's not just the fires that have people talking, it's the areas being hit. Allie points out that some of the locations affected by the fires, celebrity homes, hospitals, and amusement parks, are connected to her larger allegations about a hidden network operating beneath the city. Yes, you heard that right. Allie claims there is an entire network of underground tunnels beneath Los Angeles that few people know about. These tunnels, she says, are used for trafficking children, connecting key locations across the city, including celebrity homes, hospitals, schools, and even well-known landmarks like the Getty Museum. According to Allie, these hidden passageways have been used to move people and conduct illegal activities far from the public eye. What sounds like something out of a dystopian thriller is, in Allie's view, the grim reality of what happens behind the scenes in Hollywood. And she says she's seen it firsthand. In one particularly haunting account, Allie described being locked in a container with other children as part of this underground operation. She claims she was part of a human trafficking ring and that the stories of what goes on in these tunnels would shock even the most hardened skeptics. For years, Allie's stories have been dismissed as too far-fetched, too extreme to be real. But now, with the fires she predicted blazing through Los Angeles, more people are starting to listen. This isn't the first time Allie has claimed to have evidence that could blow the lid off of Hollywood's darkest secrets, but this time she says the stakes are even higher. Allie claims to have documents, photographs, and other forms of proof that tie Hollywood's elite to trafficking rings and other illegal activities. She has hinted that this evidence includes financial records and secret correspondences that could bring down some of the most powerful people in the entertainment industry. And she's not alone in her fight anymore. More survivors, emboldened by Allie's courage, are beginning to come forward, sharing their own experiences and corroborating her claims. What's most alarming is that Allie's accusations don't stop with Hollywood's glitterati. She's also pointing the finger at Child Protective Services, CPS, alleging that the very system designed to protect vulnerable children is complicit in the exploitation of those same children.
Watch for those fires. Explosions make fires too. Explosions make accidental fires too, and then oops, we don't know how that happened, and then you look into it and you see that it's tied to something that's tied to something that's tied to something that's tied to trafficking, and then you realize, oh, it wasn't just an explosion or a fire, it wasn't an accident.
According to Allie, CPS workers have been involved in falsifying records, accepting bribes, and turning a blind eye to the trafficking of children within the foster care system. She claims that children are disappearing from the system without a trace, and no one is asking questions. These aren't just a few isolated cases, Allie says. This is part of a much larger, systematic problem where the most vulnerable kids are funneled into a life of exploitation, all while the people in power profit from it. It's not just Allie making these claims. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children has reported that thousands of children are trafficked every year, and many of them come from the foster care system. While Allie's accusations are more specific, naming judges, social workers, and even politicians, the statistics suggest that something is indeed wrong with the system. And now, with the fires destroying CPS offices and other key institutions, Allie is claiming that crucial documents that could have blown the whistle on these operations have literally gone up in flames. As Allie continues to speak out, she's facing increasing threats. She said that mysterious cars have followed her, her accounts have been hacked, and she's even received death threats. But she's not backing down. In fact, Allie has taken steps to ensure that her story doesn't disappear if something happens to her. She's set up a dead man's switch, a system that will automatically release all of her evidence if she's silenced.
Now, this isn't just anybody's house that's burned down in the LA fires. This is P. Diddy's house that's burned. Oh, and there was supposed to be an investigation in 2 days' time.
She's also entrusted copies of her evidence to trusted allies, ensuring that her fight won't die with her. Despite the risks, Allie is determined to keep exposing what she sees as a corrupt system at every level: Hollywood, CPS, law enforcement, and even the judicial system. Allie's mission has attracted a growing number of supporters, many of whom have become online investigators themselves, connecting dots and uncovering new information. These amateur sleuths are diving deep into the stories Allie has been telling, spreading her message across social media, and demanding accountability from the people she's accused. Protests have erupted, with calls for investigations into the allegations against CPS and Hollywood's elite. People are no longer dismissing Allie as a conspiracy theorist. Instead, they're demanding answers. The media, however, is struggling with how to handle Allie's explosive claims. Some outlets are digging deep, trying to verify her story and uncover the truth. Others are working overtime to paint her as unhinged, someone who's lost her grip on reality. It's a media war that has divided public opinion. On one side, there are those who believe Allie is onto something huge and that her story is the key to unraveling one of the darkest secrets in modern history. On the other, there are skeptics who see her as just another attention seeker, someone who's fabricated an elaborate tale to stay in the spotlight. But one thing is clear, Allie isn't backing down. In her most recent videos, she's addressed the growing attention surrounding her claims, telling her audience that she's been warning the world for years and that now it's up to them to decide what happens next. Her consistency has won over even some of her harshest critics. While her claims may seem outrageous, the fact that she's stuck to the same story for so long, even when no one believed her, is starting to resonate with people. More importantly, the fact that her predictions are playing out in real time has many questioning whether there's more truth to her story than they once thought. As the fires continue to rage across Los Angeles, the spotlight on Allie Carter grows brighter. Her claims about underground tunnels, secret trafficking rings, and CPS corruption are not just sparking conversations, they're inspiring action. Survivors are coming forward, whistleblowers are stepping out of the shadows, and the internet is buzzing with theories and revelations. Whether Allie's story will lead to real change in Hollywood and beyond remains to be seen, but one thing is certain. She has ignited a fire of her own, and it's not going out anytime soon. In the end, the question remains. Is Allie Carter exposing the biggest scandal Hollywood has ever seen, or is she just adding fuel to an already wild conspiracy? Either way, she's making waves, and the world is watching closely to see what happens next. As more evidence comes to light and more people rally behind her cause, the truth, or at least some version of it, will eventually come out. Until then, Allie Carter remains one of the most talked about and controversial figures in the entertainment world, and her story is far from over. What do you think? Could Allie be onto something huge, or is this all just smoke and mirrors? Share your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned as this story continues to unfold.